at the beginning of our segments. Join us.
Sometimes we sing out of tune.
That would be my job.
Join in. This is the Lady Brain Show with Steph and Lauren right here, and we're so delighted to have in studio with us two very special ladies, Christine Bronstein and Layla Radon, and they are the founders and people behind A Band of Wives, which is a very cool organization for women and women seeking other women, also known as wives. So welcome to the show. We're going to ask you a bunch of questions, and you can tell everybody how cool this thing is. Welcome.
Good. Thank you. Thanks for having us. Although that was a really interesting introduction, though, because when you hear that over, like women seeking women,
women seeking women,
it's a social network for all women. You don't have to be married, and it's about supporting other women in your community, being wives to each other, sort of a joke on the wives term.
But it's so cool because I joined in. A friend of mine told me about it. I came out and met you guys a few weeks ago and was totally blown away by this community that you have created out of, like, what, the two of you, essentially?
I started it when I had really bad postpartum when my 2-year-old was born, and I was talking to my husband, and Facebook felt too out there, but my Zoloft hadn't kicked in, so I was like, oh, I don't want to see anybody, and I was like, it'd be great to have like a private network for my friends, and at that point we called each other wives because we'd been through so many marriages and seen babies come out of each other that friend didn't seem right. Christina Flack came up with that term, and so I found this website, this platform called Ning, and I built it in like an afternoon, and I sent out 20 invitations, and those people forwarded on to their friends, and it's private, so you can't see in if you're not a member. And at that point, it was invitation only, and Layla had gotten an invitation and was invited early on, so she was one of the
ironically, I discovered it
members.
Just because
Through Phil.
Right, but because she wanted to avoid Facebook, and I was a major Facebook nut, and I was an avid reader of Phil Bronstein, her husband, his column, and there were just a series of amazing pieces that he had written. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to friend him on Facebook, and I'm going to see what he puts there. And then it was like within the week of getting my friend request accepted that he said, you know, check this out. And my wife started this thing called The Band of Wives. And what is this? And why are they wives? And I'm like, curious. I'm going to check it out. Okay, I'm going to join. And then after that, I met shortly after the very first event ever at Christina Flack's house. I met Chris, and then it was just love at first sight.
And that was 2 years ago.
Can I just connect?
2.5.
I need to connect all the dots because Christina Flack owns Pretty Girl Makeup
that
we love talking about and that we are currently wearing. So you're all connected in that way.
Yeah.
And then Phil Bronstein, your husband, Chris, he wrote an article called Why My Wife Needs Wives.
Yeah,
right?
Is
that the name of the...
Before I created A Band of Wives, he wrote an article called My Wife Has Wives and That's Healthy.
Has Wives and That's Healthy. Okay.
Yeah, and I helped him do some of the research for that. So that was part of it too, behind building it, was like, wow, you know, I'm going through this depression, and the best thing that we can do for our health is connect for women, because that releases oxytocin for us. For men, the testosterone blocks it. But there's studies that prove that this is like the healthiest thing we can do. It's more important than not smoking, is having strong social ties.
We've talked about that, and it's a stress reliever to
Yeah.
have close female connections.
Physically, it actually really literally is. Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, I know.
So you two met, and it was love at first sight, and you decided to become wives.
Well, she joined, and so we have like 4,400 members, and in the very beginning, it was really just sort of, we'll just see what happens with this thing. And as it started growing, once it got to about 1,000 members, I met with Layla. So that was last year.
February last year. Until then, we were just friends, and then a few months after knowing Chris, I was kind of on a volunteer basis, and maybe let's put some events together and see. It was very casual. And then last year we met and made it more official.
Yeah, and we said, let's see if we can turn it also into a business and help women really promote their businesses and use this big growing network for different things. So now we have like 2 of our members are running for Congress, like against each other, but we're trying to help them both. And we try to help our members in their businesses or their shows like this or Christina's Makeup or whatever it is to help support, find a nice large network of supportive women.
At this point, I think any field you could mention, I think we have them.
I know. Whatever you need, we have one. Yeah.
Well, what was striking to me, you know, I came into this thing because Christina said, you got to go check these guys out and just go. And I went to one of your little evenings and I got all dolled up and there you all were. And it was like, whoa, everybody was talking to everybody. And what I found out, immediately I was kind of brought in. People just sort of reached out and I knew one person in the room and I had just met her. And it was, this is what I do. What do you do? And it was just very easy conversation.
Yeah.
I've never been in a situation like that before, honestly, where everybody, it was like this common goal sort of thing. Like, let's get to know each other. Maybe we can help each other. But worst case scenario, we walk away kind of friends. And so I loved that about what you guys do. And so can you tell us, like, okay, your roles, founder, Christine. Layla, what is it that you do for A Band of Wives?
The official title is Chief Community Wife. But I mean, I just say I get to play with Chris and I get to plan events with her. And then I do our social media and the thing. So it's...
She does our Facebook, which I don't know how to do, and our Twitter, and I still don't know how to do. And we have an event every week. So we do like happy hour. We have a hike coming up. We're doing a cleanse. So we have lots of events going on. Layla helps really organize all those.
And is it just Bay Area or is it all over the country?
It's all over the country, and we actually have a book coming out also, and we're collecting essays for our second book. So the first book is on positive female connection, and the second book is going to be on transitions. And so we're really we try to help support women wherever they are. You don't have to be married, you don't have to have kids, whatever it is, wherever you are. We want to support you, and part of that is getting their voices out and getting their voices heard. And so we have blogs on our site that we post, and we send out newsletters along with the events, and we're doing the books and trying to find lots of different ways to support women and create sort of a multi-generational, multicultural network. Because I found that I was either in mommy groups or I was in political groups, or and it felt like we were just all talking to each other about the same things, and I wanted something a little bit.
Well, and I think
more diverse.
What's key, the comment you made about how you felt welcome, and we get that a lot from women, and I think it's the intent that Christine set out when she created A Band of Wives. Is a lot of other networking groups, the focus is you go there and you network and it's business centered, but here it's really to foster a new kind of sisterhood, to be there for each other. So I think when you approach something with that in mind as the mission of the group that you've just joined, it really sets the tone, and you can see it and you can feel it in the events.
And we like to have fun. Layla is so good at adding the fun into all of it.
It was fun. I mean, it was pretty incredible. Like I said, I've never been in a situation like that before. How does one become a member? Because that's important, especially if this thing's growing.
Super easy. You just go to abandofwives.com, sign up, and you're married to us.
Yeah,
that's it.
And it's private. So if you're not a member, you can't click into the blogs and events. You can only see the main page. But yeah, if you go to www.abandofwives.com.
And is it so only women? Do you have to check a box and certify that you're a woman?
Men
are
so many
killing
men
themselves
trying to get in.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they try to sneak in. They'll put a woman's name, but then we catch them on their email.
Right.
Yeah, we have a technology.
Eddie G at Hotmail.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Sorry, Eddie.
No, man.
Yeah.
And do you think they want to join because they want to know what women are talking about, or they like this idea of having this group of supportive people?
I think it's a combination. Yeah.
I think there's a wide variety. But then the book, I'm like, when the book comes out, they can read all of our stories about, the juicy details.
And then the funny thing that comes out of our name, A Band of Wives, and I get that a lot on Twitter or at events where we have our banner up, people will come up or tweet me and say, abandoned wives.
If you say
why are they
it sounds
abandoned?
like
I'll take one.
abandoned.
Although recently one guy wrote me, he's like, abandonedwives.com. I'd like some advice. I'm like, what, you want advice on how to abandon your wife?
You're right.
Like,
That's not what we do.
No.
We are here talking with Christine Bronstein and Layla Radon of A Band of Wives.
Yeah.
Not abandoned wives. Not abandoned wives. abandofwives.com.
Yeah.
So your goals here, just to grow this thing and to kind of spread the love, and I hope that doesn't sound corny, but that's how it feels, and it's really a pretty remarkable thing because the sisterhood, that's something that my mom has always said, no, honey, now that her acting that way does not promote the sisterhood. Mm-hmm. And she would say things like that to me when I was a kid, like, watch out, you want women who are on the side of women and who are there for you as, in the sisterhood. And so for you guys to be doing that and to kind of stay away from, this isn't just about networking, this is about, releasing oxytocin, right? And being there for each other. And you've really achieved that. So 4,400 strong, what are the goals?
Well, I mean, our goal is mostly to take care of the members that we have. So we really want them to feel connected and supported. So it's great that we're growing quickly and we're getting new members. But our main goal is to really take care of our members that we have. And so we are moving into other areas. We just had an event in New York.
Yeah.
2 events in New York recently. Layla went back there, and we're doing one in LA in June. And so, yeah, we are spreading it. And yeah, the goal is just to keep growing it in a way that works and that stays positive. Like, we haven't had to
Keeping
take
the heart
down
of
any
it.
negative comments.
No.
I mean, it's really been amazing.
So do you think that by nurturing the members that you have now, that's just going to sort of organically, it'll grow on its own? I mean, you got to go and do your little bits when you go out to New York and to LA and wherever you go next. But just nurturing those that are already here and meeting people like me who, you know, one event in, I'm now, you know, Layla and I are like, hey, okay. So, and that's just how it works. And I made so many contacts off of that one event that I attended.
Yeah.
But now I'm in. So now I'm going to talk about it to other people. And this is how it's going to go. So you're going to grow. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, we're ready. We're totally ready. We've got the structure in place.
Bring on
and-
Oprah.
Yeah. And you never know, because it's like networking for contacts. So we've also had women who have been suffering from Lyme disease to
Yeah.
find cures for their Lyme disease through other members that had a great doctor. So we've had women, 3 or 4 women suffering
Yeah.
from Lyme have some really amazing experiences for that. You just never know what you're going to find when you show up with women in a way where you're like, oh, I can't wait to find out what I like about you.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's what it's about.
It's so great because it's the media perception of women getting together, especially with the advent of all these reality shows, is just fighting, cat fights, you know, mean to each other, who can one up the other, and to have a group of people whose mission is to actually support and raise one another up. And that it's working, and that you know what you see in, you know, these sort of fake reality shows is actually not reality.
Well,
Is
if
so
that's
refreshing.
what you focus on, right? If
Right.
you're watching that reality show, you're like, oh, I remember when somebody did that to
Yeah.
me. But if you focus on something positive, you all think about the positive, like, oh, my friend was so nice to me today, and you remember that part. But if you're keep getting bombarded by the negativity, then that's what you're gonna
Yeah.
see.
Well, I think
And
you're,
so
you're
we're trying to flip that switch.
yeah. I mean, you're a cultural force for good.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
fantastic.
A rising tide
Yeah.
raises
Yeah.
all
And we
ships.
reap the benefits too. I mean,
It's
we're
so
members
fun.
too,
It's
and we
so much
connect with
fun.
women. And for me, it's been beyond healing. I can't even imagine my life without a band of wives.
Yeah, me either. And for me, my daughter too. I was like, oh, my sons have all of this ability to be whatever they want. And really, my daughter, there's only 3% of CEOs right now, less than 17% of Congress is women. I'm like, there's still too many barriers. We need to be lifting each other up so that she has the exact same, you know, ability to be what she wants as my boys
Because
do.
we're all capable of it, and we know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just need
So-
each other.
Right, we do.
We
and
need to
thank
show
you.
people how it's done. We can't
It's
tell
true,
them, right?
And there's nothing quite as powerful as a group of women who all have each other's backs rather than doing that cat fighting thing
Yeah.
that we were just talking about, but there to support and to, I love it, to nurture the group and watch the group grow and just have it kind of spread. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Thank
That's
you
right.
guys.
Well, thank you guys for helping us.
Thank you. And
Thank-
thank you for
Would
having
you
us.
ladies like to take with you a lovely cosmetic item from Christina Flack's Pretty Girl Makeup collection?
Sure.
Of
We'll push the
course.
We've got the lip gloss and the soap and that bowl. Check
Help
it out.
yourself.
So
Go ahead.
CEO
Thank you.
Christine Bronstein and Chief Community Wife Layla Rodon from A Band of Wives. Thank you for joining us on the show tonight.
Thank you
Thank
guys
you.
for having
Thank
us.
you for having us.
We have What's Clicking coming up next. Stick around for that. And if you haven't friended the Lady Brain Show, you should do that now at facebook.com/ladybrain. No time like the present. We'll be right back.